Auckland SuperSprint, pretty emotional day. What an awesome day it was. We've got Shane van Gisbergen, we've got Cam Waters, Andre Heimgartner, top three from the last race. Cool to have two Kiwis to send it off in style. Shane, could you just sum up the day from getting out of bed to sitting where you are right now? Can you believe what's unfolded, getting both those races?
Yeah, it's pretty special. Like, we've really been struggling with the car in a couple of areas. I just couldn't fix the car in the last corner or the first one. And yeah, Andrew did a pretty cool tweak for that last race, and it made a huge difference. Qualifying was okay this morning in one, not the other. And then I was only good in the first race because I had clear air, but knew that we had to change it. And yeah, I don't know what he did. He just said something in the rear, just drive it, basically. And yeah, it was unreal. Right from the start, following Dave, I knew I had a strong car, and then just kept pushing, and guys kept pitting, and I kept having clear air. I saw Andre was battling at the hairpin for a couple of laps, and knew I might be able to jump some people. And when I come out, yeah, just stayed up it, and it was a pretty good battle with Andre. When I saw Cam had a lock up at 5, I thought there might be a chance here, and yeah, worked out really well.
You let some emotion out on the cool-down lap, just in the car, taking a moment to yourself. How did you keep all that stuff in check throughout the course of the weekend?
Yeah, it's been pretty tough. Like, kind of wish Scotty was here. He's the nice guy and helps with that stuff. I'm a bit shy with that and still struggle with it. But yeah, I guess when I'm in the car, I felt good, and especially that last race, seeing the crowd and the responses when I passed someone, and even when I was side by side with Cam and didn't get them, you could see them going wild. Like, it's pretty motivating and hard to just stay focused. And then when I passed Cam into the hairpin the next lap, they're all going nuts, and on the grandstand there going nuts. Like, it's yeah, it's one of those, like, to me that's better than Bathurst. Like, this is all time for me. It's pretty cool. Even
better than winning your first one in NZ all those years ago?
Oh yeah, like that, the way we did it, and you can see how much it meant to everyone and how much it meant to Andrew. Like, so special for him. He worked with JR and close to that team, and you know, having Jace's parents there, like, yeah, it's very, very cool.
Well done, mate. Cool to see you up and about today. Good job. Cam, you gave that everything. Like, I get the feeling that, I think Crompo said it in commentary, if Shane wants it, he's going to have to walk right over you to get it. Did you feel like you gave everything out there on the track today?
Yeah, 100%. Had nothing left in reserve. I was 100% every lap. Yeah, just the car had a little lock up towards the end once the tyres got hot, and just couldn't really rotate it as well as I would have liked. And yeah, Shane's strength was rotation, so I gave it everything, he gave it everything, and he come out on top.
Is it hard in a scenario where, you know, particularly here in NZ, everyone's gunning for one bloke and he's in your mirrors and you've got a job to do to sort of be the spoiler?
Not really. I just drive the thing as best as I can. I know I've got a lot of supporters anyway, even over here, so it doesn't really matter. That kind of stuff, I kind of just drive the car 100% and yeah, make the most of it, but wasn't quite enough today.
Well done, mate. Very close to the JR trophy as well for yourself. Was that something that you were gunning for in that last race?
Yeah, 100%. I just wanted to get that race win. Yeah, it would have been nice to lead into Bathurst with a win under our belt as well. Yeah, lots of reasons to win today, but yeah, it wasn't meant to be. Awesome
speed, mate. 3 podiums, by the way, so well done there.
Thanks.
Very fast. Andre, 2 podiums. Great stuff. In contention for the JR as well. Just your weekend, mate. I asked Shane about how he controlled his emotions and the focus and the fans and the interviews. How did you battle with all that this week?
Yeah, it didn't really get too emotional till the last race when they're doing the haka and all that sort of stuff, and then you start thinking about it and yeah, trying to fight back the tears. And yeah, it was I think that last race, both me and Shane or any Kiwi that was on the grid just really wanted to, you know, do really well and win the race if you could. And yeah, on the cool down lap, of course, yeah, as Shane sort of did, and a big relief and just sort of lots of emotions go through your head. So yeah, definitely emotional day, and I was just really, really glad Shane was able to get it in the end. I was hanging back there, and I was no offence on Cam, but I was cheering for Shane, obviously.
A bit harder, mate.
Well, you didn't pay me enough, so you know. But yeah, it's yeah, I was really gunning for Shane. I was there when he won his first race at the Hamilton Street race in the crowd, one of the ones going nuts, and obviously one of the ones going nuts here when Murphy and all those guys won. So yeah, it was a pretty cool weekend for me.
When these two started banging panels, did you think maybe it might fall in your lap at one point?
Maybe, but I knew they both race pretty tough, but they don't send each other into the fence most of the time. So I knew that it would probably be hard racing, but I knew they'd probably be right.
I'd love your thoughts on the way that they did the podium at the end and standing in front of the crowd and lining the cars up like that. Just your thoughts on that? Yeah,
it was really cool to do something different. And when I first heard it, I wasn't too sure how it was going to work and where you do the burnouts and stuff, but it ended up really, really cool. And it was just great for us to have two Kiwis on the podium, and the crowd were just so up on their feet and rowdy, and they were just loving it. So it just made it all the sweeter.
Shane, I'll just quickly pose that to you as well. You've stood on the podium here at Pukekohe plenty of times, but never there.
Yeah, when you do it there, you're out front of the support paddock, so it's a much better position. Seeing the pack stands all weekend down this end and on the hill, it's hard to put into words, but that podium's pretty special.
Nice. Okay, let's pass the microphone around. We'll throw the boys some questions.
Shane, you looked pretty emotional when you first on the first qualifying session this morning.
Yep.
Have you sort of been trying to hide your emotions this weekend? And
no, not really. Just meant a lot. Like, we've struggled with the car, as I said, all week basically, and then this morning I thought we'd fixed it, and then the second quali I struggled again. So just anytime you get pole, I don't often get on the pole. I'm not the best qualifier, so always means a lot to get it.
What were your emotions after that second qualifying when you were down at 8? Did you think I might have blown the chances of winning the
I was pissed,
And Andre, 2 podiums this weekend. Do you feel this is a turning point for yourself and the team?
Potentially, but look, it's what it is. We had a great weekend, and we've definitely made some progress over the last few rounds, and it's really good. But you can't have any expectations going forward. We'll just put our best foot forward again, and the R&J car's been really, really fast. So we'll just go to Bathurst. We got the test day first, all that sort of stuff, and we'll just do what we can.
Shane, how are you feeling about the decision to close down Pukekohe Park?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I guess there's some stuff going on with the landowners or whatever to make some money selling it off, or horse training track. I'm not sure, but as I said the other day, the horse track's a piece of shit. You look at it, it's wrecked. And we turned up here on Thursday, and the racetrack's a golf course. Like, it was amazing how well presented it was, and how cool the event was, how much everyone supported it. So I'm sure wherever we'll go next, Hampton Downs or whatever, it'll be impressive there. But the horse track will probably regret it.
With your local knowledge, where would you like to go racing in New Zealand?
Well, there's three tracks that are probably pretty good. Is Hampton, Highlands, and Ruapuna. Ruapuna's probably doesn't have the facilities, but the layout's awesome. It's and you can see from wherever you are on track, you can see the whole track. So that would probably be the best racing track, I reckon, is Ruapuna, if they spend some money on it. And we could have 2 races here. Like, you go to Hampton, and then you could go to Christchurch. It's got its own port, big airport right by the track. It would work out perfect.
Can I also ask, just turning the page to Bathurst, what are your movements now? Do you spend some time at home before you get up there? Talk us through your next few weeks.
Yeah, so I can't celebrate tonight. I'm testing the rally car tomorrow. And then I go race in the GT car at Sandown next week, and then come back for Rally New Zealand. So looking forward to that challenge. It's going to be pretty cool, and that's a dream of mine to participate in that. So can't wait.
Cam, can I ask you about Bathurst as well? Has it been a day that's gone by since your last couple of results? You haven't thought about winning it?
100%. I think 2020 was pretty hard. It was so close, but similar battle to today, we threw everything at it and come out second. Last year, we weren't really quick enough to win it, but coming second again hurts. But a lot of thoughts been put into Bathurst to work out what we need to go there with to win it.
And how do you feel your position compared to those last couple of years?
Good. I think we know what we did well in 2020 and last year, and we've learned a lot this year. So I'm pretty eager to get there and win it.
Hi boys, I'm here representing New Zealand Formula Ford. All 3 of you have actually come up through a Formula Ford category, and I'd just like to know how that's helped to progress your careers, and what sort of advice would you give to the generation today?
Yeah, well, I was keen eye on that this weekend when I had time. Like, I love Formula Ford, and we ran a car last year. It was the car that Liam Skeets was in. He was going really well this weekend. But yeah, certainly I learned a lot in Formula V, then I learned a lot in Formula Ford. So yes, definitely the best way, I think, for a driver to learn racecraft and a car that moves around a lot. So yeah, Formula Ford for me is the best place for someone to get out of karts and go racing.
And the others?
Yeah, I just think it's a great category. Back in the day when there wasn't as many feeder categories, some people went straight from Formula Ford to the development series, or you almost went straight there to supercars. You did the Toyota TRS cars. So look, I think that underlines, if you can drive one of those cars well, you can drive anything well, and that's the category that I really honed my skills in. I was pretty useless before I hopped in those cars, and I used to go to Ruapuna nearly every week and just test, bang out laps, and it's the best for finding your skills, and just kept going and eventually got there.
I mean, it's the best race car that you can jump in straight out of go-karts. I think all the other junior categories are pretty well junk, so I think if you want to go learn and be where we are, I think you need to go to Formula Ford. F4 I think was a waste of time, to be honest. So it'd be good to see Formula Ford strong again, and that's the pathway I think you need to go. Besides, the other option is probably go sprint car racing.
Thanks.
Hey, Andre, you guys are in with a shout again for the ProTech Pit Stop Challenge. Your pit stop times this week were like supersonic. Just your thoughts on that and a chance to bring that back to Brad Jones Racing.
Yeah, I think the boys are pretty pumped up this weekend, and the second yesterday and then the third today were in a strong part to do with their pit stops and how fast they were. So whenever you come into the pits, you sort of know if you're close to someone, you're going to jump them. So it's unfortunate for your competitors, but really great for us.
And that car, that chassis that you've moved into since the crash at the bend, it's clearly working all right for you?
Yeah, so that's the one obviously that I drove and sort of reignited my career in 2017 when I was basically out of the sport, and we got that podium on the Gold Coast with Tim Slade in the wet. So that's the exact same chassis as obviously this weekend.
Cool. All right, guys. Final call for questions. Thank you very much for your time. Well done.